So my guest tonight is known mostly for playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. She recently started streaming, and she is the partner of my previous guest, Miss Cherry Blade, or as we call her, Naomi. Tonight we're going to talk about a lot, as well as in a segment we're going to be testing her gaming knowledge. We're going to talk also about her Twitch journey and more. So please give a warm welcome to tonight's guest, Silent Shadow, or Shadow, like Silent Shadow or Shadow. Hi, Shadow.
Hi.
So I know I asked you this as we started the call, but the first thing I ask in this whole podcast is, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, actually. How are you doing?
I just got back from work and I sat down, did some stuff, and here we are.
Oh, good.
So can you tell me about how you discovered Twitch, how you decided to become a streamer, and a bit about the channel, assuming, or as I said, like, you just started streaming recently?
Yeah, I did. So a little bit about my Twitch journey as a whole. I actually started Twitch because when I started dating Miss Cherry Blade, I was a part of a lot of her Twitch community nights with a lot of her friends on there. We were doing a lot of Jackbox party games, and I was introduced on there. And I really loved the feel of it, just the community and being part of gaming as a whole. So slowly but surely, we started building up my channel, and I just thought to myself, like, nothing major was going to come of it. It was just something I was doing in my free time. And then all of a sudden, it just started blowing up, and I'm like, wow, there are people that actually want to come in and watch the chaos that is my channel. So when people watch me, they know that it's pretty chaotic, it's insane. But overall, we are a community that is accepting to everybody. We welcome everybody of all walks of life. It doesn't matter how you identify, from your sexual orientation to your race to your religion. We are a safe space. We welcome everybody. As long as you are 18 and older, we accept that. We do not engage with minors because we know that certain creators have done that before, and that is something that I've put a stop to, in which their safety is always number one when they're online. So if you're 18 and older, you're welcome to engage, but if you're under the age of 18, we just ask that you respectfully just leave the channel, don't follow any of the socials, because that is not for them.
Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of like minors on Twitch lately, and I really am upset about like Twitch's policy of letting people aged 13 and up be on the platform, when I think the norm should at least be 16.
I mean, it really should be, because we all know the internet as a whole is a huge place for online predators who can pretend to be a certain age. And with children that young, they can fall prey to that, especially with human trafficking being on the rise, and everything that you see online, they absorb it like they're a sponge. So for me, with my channel, I keep it as a protection of, I understand you want to follow, but this is not for you. We just don't engage with anybody under the age of 18. But if you're 18 and older, by all means, you're welcome to come in. Just, follow the rules. Don't be somebody who is racist, homophobic, transphobic, because I will not tolerate that. That is an immediate ban on everything that I have my name on.
Yeah. So there's a question that's been like roaming my mind. Where did the name Silent Shadow come from, and why is it written like this? Like, what's with the numbers? Like Silent Shadow, she wrote the username as SI1ENT_SHAD0W03. Like, is there a purpose for that?
So the name Silent Shadow, I actually got that from my childhood friend who unfortunately passed away back in 2020 from cancer. He gave me that name when we were in high school, actually. He would always say that you move as silent as a shadow. Like, you can never hear me. My footsteps are very soft, and it's like I would just appear behind him. And I always carry that name with me, and writing it the way that I do with like the 1 and the 0, that is my way of like giving like the name a little bit of originality to it. Like, anyone can write an L or an O into the name, but with the 1 and 0, it's that originality of, this is the name that I want to carry, and this is something that's a little bit of an originality where I'm putting my stamp on it. And everybody who knows me online, they'll either call me Silent or they'll call me Shadow. Like half of the people, unless you're very close to me, don't even know what my real first name is, and I tend to keep it that way to kind of like hide the anonymous tone of who I am personally. But I'm still me. I just go by Shadow.
Yeah, yeah, but so the numbers are from the friend, I assume, because like it's really difficult for people sometimes to just find you, like since silent is written with a one instead of an L.
Yeah, it can be very difficult, but the one and zero does come from him as well. He always said that if you are going to put your name on anything, have your originality on it. Don't be another name in the crowd. Have your face on it, have your originality, and the more you stand out, the more people are curious about you and want to know about you.
Exactly, exactly. So do you remember what was the first game you ever streamed? But I assume it was Baldur's Gate because Miss Cherry Blade was also doing that, maybe?
Ooh, the first game that I streamed when I came on Twitch actually was
Yeah.
South Park: The Stick of Truth. That was the very first one that I was introduced as a solo player on.
Oh wow, yeah. You've done? Have you done like? Have you actually streamed Baldur's Gate, or at least like joined Naomi in it?
I haven't streamed it yet. However, it is on my list of games that I am dying to play. I have watched her playthrough of it, and the game itself is incredibly beautiful. There's a great storyline to it. The characters are absolutely amazing. There's wonderful representation in that game. And I know there's a lot of people online who have very negative thoughts about it, but for me, it's that kind of like fantasy genre that I'm drawn to. So that is definitely on my list of things that I would like to play in the future.
Right. So you do a variety of games, but you've mostly been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley recently. How did you come across this game, assuming that there's an indefinite and an infinite continuous grind? I myself consider this as being my comfort game, and I have it on the Switch because I first bought it on PS5 and then I played it a little bit when I got to the Stitch missions. I don't know if you remember that, but when Stitch and Donald were quarreling, and then Donald or Stitch, one of them asks you to put up like flyers. That was very early on. Those are not spoilers.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so
I
it
remember
bugged my
that.
it bugged my game when I had put down all the flyers or all the signs. Um, it told me like I need to put one more sign when I had nothing left to do, and then when I tried doing this, it wouldn't advance, and then I just let it be for a few months. Then when I came back, it just deleted my game, and it happened the same with my game on the Switch, but it didn't delete the game. So then there were updates and patches, and it fixed itself.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, but also add to the question, what games are you also willing to stream in the future? Like, what's on your schedule?
So in the future, other than Baldur's Gate, I would like to make a return to God of War because that is a game that I played a long time ago. So that's hopefully something I can get into in the future. There is one, it's called a Doki Doki Literature Club. It is actually a horror game that I would like to play as well. I believe Cyberpunk is also on that list. There's a whole plethora of games that I am slowly getting into. I also want to revisit the Arkham series, which is another gaming series that I played a long time ago, but I stopped at Arkham City. I never played Arkham Knight, so I kind of feel like a revisit to that would be tremendous as well.
Yeah, and the Arkham games are like four games in the series. They sell them as three, but they're actually four games. Hold on, let me look it up because I remember very well that they probably sell Night City and Origins together, but Asylum is like a standalone one.
Right.
Yeah. So, what are your limits regarding your streams in chat? Like, for example, I know you said like you mentioned some stuff in the beginning, but like besides those stuff, and besides like graphic artists that try to sell you their art, what could get someone banned? What would piss you off? What's the big no-no other than what you already said?
I mean, other than what I said, like everybody is entitled to speak their mind as they like to. Like I have some wild things that go on in chat, and these are just people that I know personally, so I know how they like to communicate. But one thing that would be a no-no is if they try to contact one of the people that are in chat and go to their socials and sending them like unsolicited pics or trying to find out my personal information or trying to put me in danger or anybody that is on there in danger. That is an immediate ban and block because that is something I do not tolerate. Safety, not only for myself, but for people that follow me is the number one concern for me anytime that I'm streaming.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these happen, especially one time, or not one time, like sometimes like graphic artists and bots might join the Discord randomly as well. I know we excluded these, but like I had to mention this. Sometimes they try to join the Discord, and there is something going around on Discord that I don't know if you've heard of, but like someone has an exact replica of the official Discord email and message saying that your account has been suspended because it broke Discord's TOS and blah blah blah. That's a scam.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what games you would never see yourself playing?
Some games I wouldn't see myself playing. I don't really do like Call of Duty or kind of games like that. I have played them in the past, but the lobby with the people that join, sometimes if you're joining like a random match, it can be so atrocious, especially as a woman gamer and especially someone who is also a queer gamer. The amount of hatred that you get and pretty much just like bigotry and just like I have experienced it so bad. Like being a woman gamer, I've had people just being so awful about it. Like if you are doing better than them, they'll immediately say any word to kind of trigger you. And for me, I let that roll off of me. But then sometimes I'm just like, I could write something back, but then I could also hurt your feelings, and I don't want to do that either. So yeah. I honestly won't do that. But things like that, like I've tried to get into Fortnite. Like I'm slowly learning the Fortnite logistics and everything. That is something I want to do in the future, but not right away until I actually learn it. Same way with like Marvel Rivals. It's something that I slowly want to like introduce myself to kind of get the gist of it. But those games right now would be something I would not do on my channel.
Yeah, especially kind of games that are a little bit controversial. Because I'm non-binary myself, but I love something. I'm sorry for mentioning this, but like I grew up with the Harry Potter franchise, and I know what the controversy is. And I grew up with like a trans friend. Like growing up, I got to know them before and after, and I asked them like, "Is it okay if you play this game?" And then he said, why the hell would I care? I know the controversy, but like, it's just a game. Plus, when I was streaming Hogwarts Legacy back when it released, I had a lot of like salty people. One of them came into my chat and said like, I've removed your self promo from my channel. Do you have any idea about the controversy behind this game? I'm like, yes. And they were like, oh, so you're still playing it and you're willfully ignorant. And I'm like, excuse me, sir, but like you don't tell me what to play. And I know, and I had like trans people watching me that day. I was still on console back then, like streaming from console, and I had to ban them. They were a Twitch partner. So these types of games, I play them regardless, and I have disclaimers telling people like, I know the controversy, but it's still a game. Let's say the creator of that universe doesn't get paid. They only got money for the assets. All the other money goes to the makers, and there is a trans character in the game, the bartender.
Yes.
Yeah. So how many hours per day or week, like in general, besides streaming, do you spend on Twitch?
On Twitch, it normally depends. When I do stream, sometimes I like to push myself to go between like 10 to 12 hours. I'm not too sure how much hours I've racked up, but I'm sure it's way up there with as much as I've streamed. I regularly will do my 10 hours. We have done charity streams that are like 12 hours long. I have not hit 24 hours yet. I don't know if that is something I would do in the future, but I would assume like I'm somewhere probably in like the 100 or 200 hours of Twitch streaming that I have done.
Yeah. So To the new people out there who just started streaming and are listening tonight, or probably are thinking about starting streaming, what is one advice you want to give them?
My advice is to go for it. If you've been thinking about wanting to do it, don't hesitate. It's always great to just follow that gut instinct of, I want to stream, but I don't know where to start. Always reach out to the people who have started streaming or have been doing it for so long. Ask them, what technology do you use? Ask for advice. Get together with your streamer friends and have them collaborate and set up something for you. The only person that's holding you back is you. The best thing to do is just play the game that you want to play, be comfortable, be happy with it, and once that camera's going and the time is flying by, you'll even forget that you're streaming sometimes because you're so immersed in what you're doing. So my advice is just go for it and do it because you want to do it, not because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah, and if you feel a little bit like anxious using a camera or showing your face, there's always like no camera option or PNG, VTuber. There's always a million options. Yeah. There's also something I want to ask you. Like, you also do fun, quirky stuff for, let's say, sometimes subs, bits, like, whereas sometimes you eat something. Like, last night I was watching you. You had to, I don't know if you rolled something, but someone redeemed something and you had to eat something. You also did shots at some points.
Yes.
Yeah. Where did this idea come from?
Well, when I was doing shots, that was actually for my affiliate kind of celebration, and
Nice.
we did a drunk stream. And what ended up happening, I was like, you know what, I can do a drunk stream. So we were just like brainstorming, and I pretty much just told people, well, if we do this, I will take a shot or I'll have a drink. Towards the end of it, I did get really tipsy, but thankfully, by the grace of whoever and however, I did not wake up with a hangover. And what we have as a redeem now is I was doing a sour challenge when we hit 100 followers, and we decided to keep that redeem on. So anytime somebody will just hit it and it's like, I'm doing like a spray, I'm putting drops, or sometimes it's like a sour hard candy. And it's just that very visceral reaction that people just start laughing. I'm like, I promise I'm not making up this reaction. That is my legit reaction when I'm doing it.
Yeah, but sometimes be careful with the if you ever do it or if you ever think of doing it like bits for shots, because I wanted to try this for like New Year's, and then one of my friends messaged me telling me like just to be careful because it is against Twitch TOS to do it for bits or like to get paid for doing these, because it's counted as self-harm.
Right.
Yeah.
Thankfully, when we did it, it was only for like, I believe it was for new subscribers, I believe is what it was for. But I would have to go back and take a look at it.
So now I'm gonna flip the segments. How good are you with games? Like, are you just variety, or do you want to be like just into one category, which are cozy games? Because this is a game.
For me,
Yeah.
For me, I like to do like cozy games for right now. Like I do eventually want to spread out into variety, but for me, it's all about just like kind of being cozy, kind of like having a laid back, kind of chill vibe to it.
Okay, because like I prepared a game. You've heard of Kill, Marry, Sleep With, right?
Yes.
Yes, so this is similar. In this mini game, I will name a set of 3 games each time. You'll have to tell me which one you'd play, which one you'd delete from existence, and which one you'd uninstall. It's called Play, Delete, Uninstall. You might want to write it down if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, so that also includes the whole franchise.
Okay, gotcha.
So you also have 3 jokers that allow you to either delete all of the games during one of the questions or keep all of them. So you cannot uninstall, let's say, 1 and keep 2, or uninstall or delete 2 and keep 1, and vice versa, or etc. So you're also free to skip any of these if you feel stuck or blank out. Are you ready?
Gotcha.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
Alright, so the first 3 are Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, and Battlefield.
Ooh, okay. I would play Battlefield. I would delete Call of Duty and I would uninstall Counter-Strike.
Nice. Apex, Fortnite, Valorant.
I would play Fortnite. I would delete Apex and uninstall Valorant.
Okay. PUBG, Marvel Rivals, and Overwatch 2.
Play Marvel Rivals. I would uninstall PUBG. And what was the third one?
Overwatch 2.
That would get deleted.
Fair enough. It kind of like bothers me because like some first person games, especially like PvP or like the Overwatch style games, just bother me. So Destiny 2, Borderlands, and Cyberpunk.
Ooh, play Cyberpunk. Oh, let's see. We got Borderlands and you said Destiny 2?
Yep.
Let's see. I'm playing Cyberpunk for sure. I would delete Destiny 2 and uninstall Borderlands.
Okay. Valheim, Stardew Valley, Minecraft.
Play Stardew Valley. Uninstall Valheim and delete Minecraft.
Okay. Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring, and Diablo.
Ooh, these are all three good ones. Ooh. I would play Baldur's Gate. I would uninstall Diablo. So that would leave deleting. What was that last one?
So it was Baldur's Gate, Elden Ring, and Diablo.
Delete Elden Ring.
Fair enough. Naomi might frown upon that because she likes Souls games. Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know how people can play Souls-like games.
I can't either.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle in Disney Dreamlight Valley, let alone playing a Souls-like game.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So, speaking of Disney Dreamlight Valley, Palia, and The Sims.
Ooh, definitely playing Dreamlight Valley. I would delete Palia and uninstall The Sims.
Fair. So Warhammer, Throne and Liberty, and Guild Wars, which are kind of the same thing, like survival crafting, kind of like a little bit in history.
Okay. I would definitely be playing Warhammer.
Okay.
For delete. Let's see, delete and uninstall. Ooh, my last two options were after Warhammer.
Warhammer, Throne and Liberty, and Guild Wars.
Okay, so delete Throne of Liberty and uninstall Guild Wars.
Okay. So we have. Now we're going into the horror aspect. Is that you have knowledge in that, right?
I do, yes.
All right. We have Quake, Doom, and the Elder Scrolls series. It does not fall into horror, but some of it has some gore in it.
Okay, so I would definitely be playing Doom because that is a game that I absolutely love. Delete Quake and uninstall Elder Scrolls.
Okay. So the Fallout series, Dead Space, and Mass Effect.
Ooh, those are other good ones too. Oh gosh. Let's see. Well, I'm definitely playing Fallout because I love the Fallout series.
Mm-hmm.
I would delete Dead Space and uninstall Mass Effect.
Okay. Alan Wake, Resident Evil, and The Evil Within.
Ooh, Resident Evil and The Evil Within. Those are good ones too.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to play The Evil Within. I would delete Elder Wake
Alan
and
Wake. Alan Wake, yeah.
Ellen Wake and uninstall Resident Evil.
Okay. Dead Island, Left 4 Dead, and Dying Light.
Ooh, definitely playing Left 4 Dead. Definitely have to. I would delete Dead Island and uninstall Dying Light.
All right. Dead by Daylight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Ooh. Let's see. I'm definitely playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre because that's actually one of my favorite horror movies. I would uninstall Killer Clowns and delete Dead by Daylight.
Okay, yeah. So Subnautica, Raft, and Rust.
All right, let's see. I would play Subnautica, delete Raft, and uninstall Rust.
Okay. We have Dead Rising, which is another zombie game, The Mortuary Assistant, and The Walking Dead.
Okay, well, right away we are deleting The Walking Dead.
Okay, fair enough.
Uninstalling Mortuary Assistant, and we're playing Dead Rising.
Okay. So we have Little Nightmares, the Alien or the Predator series, which has Alien Isolation, and Silent Hills.
Definitely playing Silent Hill. That's a game I hold very close to me.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to delete Little Nightmares and uninstall the Alien series.
Okay. Next we have Visage or Visage. We have Madison, and we have Five Nights at Freddy's.
All right, so we are going to play Five Nights at Freddy's. We are going to delete Visage and uninstall Madison.
Okay. So the final ones in the horror part is Project Zomboid, 7 Days to Die, and The Last of Us.
Oh, The Last of Us is definitely getting played. I love that game so very much. It still makes me break down and cry every time I play it, even though it's a horror game. 7 Days to Die would get deleted, and for the last one, we are going to uninstall.
Okay. Next we have Fall Guys, Party Animals, and Chained Together.
Ooh, those are all good ones. Party Animals, definitely going to play. Fall Guys, I will uninstall, and Chained Together, I would delete.
Okay. Pal World, Pokemon, and Digimon games.
All right, so Pokemon, we are definitely going to play. Digimon, we will uninstall. And for our last, we will delete it.
Okay, fair enough. Assassin's Creed, we have Uncharted, and Tomb Raider.
All right, so I am definitely going to be playing Assassin's Creed. Uncharted will be deleted, and Tomb Raider will be uninstalled.
Nice. Are you waiting for, or are you going to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, given that it has Shadow in the title as well?
I would so love to play that game.
It's been pushed from November last year to February, and now it's on March 20, I think.
Oh, around my birthday month. That's perfect.
I mean, I hope they don't push it even more because, like, I want it. Like, just release it
I know.
and then push fixes to it. And like, but that would upset the people. I know that. Because they're already upset because of like, oh, it's in Japan and they have like an African American character there. It is based on a true story though.
It is.
Yeah. Alright, the final ones we have are Kingdom Hearts, the Persona series, and Final Fantasy.
Let's see. Final Fantasy, I will play. The Persona series will get deleted. Kingdom Hearts will get uninstalled.
Alright. So there's another game. It's called Rename the Game. So the goal of this mini game is simply just I'll say a name and we take turns saying a game with more than like one word. All we have to do is just change one word from the game title with the given word. Let's say, for example, the word is knife. For example, Star Wars, Knife, Fallen Order, for example, then you'd say probably Knife's Gate, etc. For example, we'll take turns.
Okay.
It's all improvised, and we're gonna. It's timed as well. So the last one, when the timer runs out, the last person that says a game name wins, or you can call out the person that said the same game twice.
Okay.
And today's word is silent.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna start with silent light.
Silent Evil.
Tom Clancy's The Silent 2.
The Silent of Us.
Age of Silent.
Silent Creed.
Alan Silent.
Five Nights at Silent.
Seven Silent to Die.
Boulder Silent.
Planet Silent.
Texas Chainsaw Silent.
Silent by Daylight.
Silent Animals.
Batman Arkham Silent.
Okay, let's see. Gotta think on this one.
You can look
All
on
silent.
Steam. Okay, you can look on your Steam library as well. I don't mind. So we have the Silent Cylinder.
Friday the Silent.
Okay. Killer Silent from Outer Space.
That's a good one. Mass Silent.
Silent Hearts.
Ooh, that is a good one too. Let's see. You Don't Know Silent.
Final Silent.
Alone in the Silent.
The Silent Assistant.
Star Wars Silent.
Okay, so Star Wars Jedi Fallen Silent, or Silent Order, actually.
Okay. Avatar Frontiers of Silent.
Okay, Silent Space.
Genshin Silent.
That's about all the time we have, and you win this round.
Nice.
So the following is like a lightning round / pop quiz. Just random questions.
Okay.
Alright, so do you mind telling me and the listeners what's your daily routine? Like probably something you always like to do, maybe first thing in the morning, or something you just recently picked up. It has become a habit.
My daily routine, it's pretty simple. I will wake up, I make myself some breakfast, kind of give myself some energy for the day. I will then prepare for streaming, picking out which outfit I would like to wear on camera, do hair and makeup, make sure my socials are pretty much letting people know, hey, I'm going live. I also like to do some breathing exercises before I go on camera to kind of like steady the social anxiety that I have and kind of like give myself a pep talk like it's going to be great. Even though there's technical difficulties, you're going to get through it. It's going to be great. And then like as soon as ads are over, I'm pretty much in streamer mode.
Okay. So if you ever were to be any object or creature, let's say the creature being real or fictional, what would you be and why?
I would be a werewolf if I was to be any creature.
Nice.
I always find those creatures to be very fascinating, especially in literature and movies, just the way they move in silent, pun intended. They are very like visceral creatures, and just looking at them, it's like a very like dominant personality. It's sort of like they have this protective nature, but they also are very vicious when it comes to protecting those that they care about.
Okay. So if you could stay one age forever, what age would you choose?
I would want to stay probably 18 forever. And the reason for that is because that's back when you're young and you're still trying to figure out the world, and it gives you a chance to kind of be like, this is what I want to do for my future, and you can plan it out and realize that there were mistakes that you've made in the past that you don't have to make them now, so that you have a right plan and a right step forward of where you're going.
Okay. So let's say you are given $1 million. What would you do with it?
If I was given $1 million, I would donate to the charities of my choice. I would also make sure I have a home with a lot of land. I am a huge animal lover. I would love to have like a rescue dog sanctuary where I'm taking in a lot of these rescue dogs who have either been abused or have not been wanted, and to have them stay with me to kind of get them reconstituted back into society and to be adoptable and to show them that there is love and compassion from people that actually would care about them.
Nice. And speaking of like animal care and animal sheltering, there is a game, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Animal Trainer Simulator.
Oh, I've not heard of it.
Like it's an animal trainer. Well, it's a simulator that gives you a unique opportunity to build, probably design, take care of your own horses, dogs, cats. You can also sell them afterwards. You can also create the perfect space to make them feel safe and happy. You could also train them and everything.
Oh, I love that. I'll have to look into it.
Animal Trainer Simulator. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So, what's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve are people who have this obsessive compulsion to lie to other people to try to make themselves look better, where they will lie and say that they have, let's say, X amount of money when they know they don't, or if they have this huge following when they know they don't. It's kind of like a way to be like, you're bragging about who you are. That's kind of a pet peeve for me. It's like, just learn to be humble and know where your space and your place is, because you are no better than the next person sitting next to you.
Yeah, especially like don't be, because I've come across this ordeal as well, but like don't be self-centered and don't go demoralize other people in their streams and say, oh, I've been gifted triple digit amount of subs and I'm gonna do this for that, like push-ups or something. Like that sometimes can feel demoralizing, you know, like, oh, I've done this. Yeah, because I've seen some people do it and I was like, okay, that is bad, and I didn't want to call them out on stream.
Right.
So yeah. So what is your comfort off-stream game?
My comfort off-stream game is Animal Crossing. I do love that it's sort of like a very calm nature where it's just you and you can go and do what you like. It's pretty much an open world where you can grow the plants that you like and you can just wander the island and talk to your neighbors and just like be part of small things like that. So for me, that's sort of like a comfort where I can just kind of zone out and just focus on that. It's something I would love to play when I'm on my Switch. If it's like a day off, I kind of just veg out and I just play that for a while. And sometimes I will go back to Disney Dreamlight and work on that for a little bit.
Nice. This is why I kept I chose Disney Dreamlight Valley to be on the Switch, because like sometimes I don't feel like getting up from my bed, or like before I like during bedtime when I like as I fall asleep, if I don't feel like I want to watch something on YouTube, I could play it.
Oh, same.
Yeah. So would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life?
I would like to have a rewind button in my life due to the fact that I have lost so many people over the years, and I always say to myself that if I only had like one more day, or if I only had like 5 more minutes to spend with them, I would just love to rewind that space and time just to spend that moment with them, knowing that they are not going to be around forever. It would just be great to just spend just that one more day of just having them around.
Yeah, fair enough. I would have probably the same the rewind button as well, because like I want to be able to go back and tell my past self, like, okay, you're gonna look stupid, or this is gonna come and bite you in the future, so don't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite hobbies?
Some of my favorite hobbies is I am an avid reader. I love to read like crazy. I keep a Kindle by my bed. I will read a few chapters before bed. Sometimes if I'm not gaming or if I'm not on my Switch, I will literally just open the Kindle up and just start reading. I've been that way since I was a kid. I like to like absorb knowledge. If I'm not reading, I like to be on my Duolingo learning new languages. If you check my Duolingo, you will see that I have all of these different languages that I'm trying to learn because I'm just like a sponge. I just like to absorb all of it.
Yeah, you have them all lined up. But since you
Hmm.
mentioned Kindle, so every time you just, let's say, you took a long while before or between each book, let's say you haven't picked up a book since last year, since now we're in like mid-January. Does that count as rekindling your reading habits? See what I did there?
Honestly, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So what is one thing or person you cannot live without?
The one thing I can't live without, it's actually two things. Obviously, I cannot live without my partner. She keeps me very grounded, very centered, she keeps me calm. And the other thing I cannot live without is my dog. She is my rescue baby. I've had her for almost 6, 7 years now. She has been that part of me that when I look at her, I just know that everything's okay. Even though the world is slowly burning and falling apart, I can look at her and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to be okay. I have her. She's safe. She's comfortable. And that to me just means more than anything in the world.
Yeah, and speaking of like your partner Naomi, in the previous episode I asked her like, why do you like self-deprecating? And she said like, she grew up where she wasn't well, it's all in the previous episode, but like from what I remember from it is like she grew up in an environment where she wasn't always like given kudos or like you did a good job or something. So she has those tendencies. Like you also do that, and you have redeems in your voice. She has redeems in your voice in her channel. How often does she do that off stream?
Sometimes it's not as often as it is on stream. Normally when I hear it and I just kind of tell her, you know, that we're not going to do because you know it's not true. I would not tell you any lies or anything like that. So we kind of keep the self-deprecation to a zero when she's off stream. And I know that when she does it on stream, a lot of people don't like it, but I'm like, trust me, in real life, it's nothing like you would see on stream. When she is home and she's off stream, we keep that to like the bare minimum.
Yeah, fair enough. And probably people maybe love to redeem that the redeem, was it called the brat or something? Brat redeem? I don't know what's it called. Like
Yes,
in your voice,
yes.
yeah. Maybe just to hear it.
Yeah, that was kind
Yeah.
of a surprise for her because she was like, "Oh, you could record something for it." And then when it first got redeemed, like she was just like sitting there, like I didn't even know that she recorded that. I'm like, surprise.
And I assume you snuck onto her PC and just uploaded it, and then you told her like, "Hey, wait for it to be redeemed."
Well, I recorded it and I was like, "Okay, it's done recording. You can go ahead and upload it to your Twitch channel." And she had uploaded it without even hearing it. And the minute somebody redeemed it, she was just like sitting there, just like, "Oh my God, what just happened?"
Oh my god, yeah. This is why I always, well, 90% of the time, like test out stuff sometimes.
Oh,
But
definitely.
but yeah. So what is one thing you spend a lot of money on besides games?
I would say books. Definitely spend a lot of money on books. Like there's so many that I have on my wanting to read list. So I'm just like, okay, I have the money for it. I can go ahead and just buy it. And like immediately when it's in the Kindle, I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and start reading. And I can get through a book like very quickly. It's not that I'm a fast reader, it's just that I absorb it so quick and I'm like, I'm already done with it. I'm on to the next one.
Mm-hmm. So this is a three-part question. What's one of your all-time favorite songs?
One of my all-time favorite songs, it is currently, let's see, it's actually a cover song
Mm-hmm.
by Chris Cornell. It's the song Nothing Compares to You. It's one
Oh.
of my all-time favorites.
The original was by what's her name?
Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor. Yeah. R.I.P.
Uh-huh.
Sinead.
Absolutely.
R.I.P. So the same question. What's one of your all-time favorite movies this time?
One of my all-time favorite movies is The Princess Bride.
Nice, nice. So what's one of your all-time favorite TV shows or series?
One of my all-time favorite TV shows would be The IT Crowd. It is basically a British comedy. I love that show so incredibly much.
Fair enough. If your life was ever to be a book or a video game, what would it be titled and why?
If it was ever a video game or even a book, it would just be Journey Over to the Shadow Side.
Nice.
And the reason why
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
The reason why for that is there was a lot that's happened in my personal life. Like, not many people know about who I am and what my background is. So like, as you get into the chapters, you slowly start to discover that there's more to it than what you see on your screen.
Yeah, mine would be either ... or WTF or just what now.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So which of these three things would you give up if you ever were forced to? Money, gaming, love.
I would give up money. And reason for that is that with money, it's all pretty much paper, it's metal, it's something that you keep in your pocket, or it's something just for you to spend. With gaming, it takes you into a different world. It lets you leave what reality is and goes into a fantasy world. And with love, everybody wants to be loved in their own way, whether it is that kind of love you have with a partner, it's a love from an animal, or it's just like a love from a stranger. Everybody wants love and everybody deserves to have it regardless of who you are.
Right. So if you had one special superpower, what would it be and why? And how would you use it?
I would use telekinesis. Reason being is that with telekinesis, you can move a lot of different objects. It would be very helpful in my everyday life, especially if I'm doing stuff around the house, or if I have, like right now, my partner's laid up after having surgery and I can help her move things and lift things for her so she doesn't have to do it, or I can just help somebody who is elderly who needs that extra assistance. I kind of feel like having those kind of powers would be extremely beneficial.
Nice. Mine would be teleportation.
Nice.
Self-explanatory, because like I would love to bypass the fees of like going through the whole thing, like through the process of the visa, the passport, waiting for when the plane takes off. I could just like snap my finger and just appear somewhere and visit my friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Yeah. So what is something you always wanted to learn but you couldn't find time for? All right. So if you had an alter ego, what would it be named and what would they do, for example? Probably like the opposite of you, but mine would be the opposite of what I do.
Pretty much, I always tell people like the opposite of Shadow would be Silent. And with Silent, they would be more of the bodyguard type. They would be very protective. They would not only protect the peace of Shadow, but they would protect the peace of everyone around them and would not let anybody get very close.
Okay. So when's the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone?
The last time I stepped out of my comfort zone was around 2020 when the pandemic had hit. We were told that you had to stay in your homes. You could not leave the state. I'm currently in Florida, but at that time, like I had said before, I had a very close friend who was dying of cancer and he had lived in Pennsylvania. And I had stepped out of my comfort zone saying, I will not let him die alone. I will not let him be by himself. So I ended up taking a car and I had drove from Florida all the way to Pennsylvania under the strict COVID restrictions and made it to Pennsylvania to spend his final days with him.
So the following are food-related questions.
Okay.
And since you mentioned Florida, I'm gonna allow myself to ask the last question now. What's your favorite or a traditional food from Florida that you want to share or tell people about, or that you enjoy eating?
Since being here in Florida, there hasn't been really anything like traditional that I like. Originally, I am from Pennsylvania. I was born and raised there, and I've been living in Florida for almost 7 years this coming April. As far as like traditional foods, I really haven't pinpointed anything that I enjoy more than something I would enjoy if I was still in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay, what is your favorite drink of choice?
I would say if it was an alcohol, I am definitely a huge wine drinker. I really love like a sweet rosé wine. If it was non-alcoholic, I like to drink Poppy and Olipop, which is a prebiotic soda that's actually really good for you. It's something that I've been drinking quite a lot of.
Oh wow, yeah, I cut down on sodas in 2021, and
Oh, nice.
I've had a few Seven Ups here and there, but
Hmm.
it's not like an ongoing addiction like it was. But
Right.
now I substituted them with sparkling water.
Oh, that's also a really good choice.
Yeah, or anything that says like sparkling or seltzer on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's the weirdest food you've ever had?
Weirdest food I ever had. I was dating an ex many years ago. I was invited to his house for Christmas, and I was fed cow tongue by his mother.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Mine,
I didn't realize it.
oh my God. That we do have something here that's similar in Lebanon, but it's more like intestines, or intestines, however you say it. English is my third language. So
Oh my God.
yeah, we they stuff them with like minced meat and stuff and like rice. I don't know how people can eat this. I get disgusted, you know. Like,
Oh, I would too.
though the closest thing to that I ate was hearts, but like cow heart, they cook it in a way here that it becomes like that burnt brown color or black color, but it's super tasty. Trust
Ah,
me. Trust me, it's
gotcha.
super tasty. Yeah. Um, so mine would be like the actual one would be like octopus or squid, because my cousin likes to
Oh,
experiment with her food. So instead of like making an actual curry, she just took the sauces and the condiments or whatever you put on the curry and just mixed it up, all the peppers, mixed it up with the rice, turned the rice yellow, and then she added squid, mini squids,
oh
and
my God.
I was taking them out one by one, and then like we had a big family gathering that day, and my dad was helping me, so he poured me a plate and handed it to me. I'm like, "Are you sure there's no squid in there?" He's like, "Just eat around them." And the first bite I took had squid in it,
Oh no.
and I said two things: "Why is this tasty?" and "Get it out of my mouth." Yeah. So what food would you never try or would you never get close to anymore?
One food that I absolutely do not like, I do not like olives. It is just like the weirdest texture to me. I've tried them once in my life and I spit them out and I was like, absolutely not. I will not be eating this again.
I love olives. The thing that disgusts me, I'm allergic to dill, just the dill.
Right.
So mom does something similar to pickles, which is pickled turnips. She doesn't use dill. She uses a substitute of dill, but I hate cucumbers. They absolutely disgust me. But I substitute them with Armenian cucumbers, which are not as like juicy as the cucumber ones we know, but they're like uh, curly, like they curl up on each other on themselves, and they're like light green.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I cannot eat pickles. I do not want to eat anything that has to do with cucumber unless it's with salads. Then I could like make an exception because I hate the texture on its own. It makes
That
my
makes
mouth
sense.
dry, honestly. So if you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh, one meal for the rest of my life. I do come from a family that is German and Italian, and I grew up with so much Italian food. So I would say I would eat pasta for the rest of my life. It's just very comforting. It's just like, it feels like it's home. I've grown up with my Italian grandmother who used to have like giant Italian food feasts, and everything that she made was always wonderful. So that is something I would definitely eat for the rest of my life.
Yeah, funny you mentioned this. My favorite food or comfort food is well, I don't know if I asked you, but like what's your comfort food of all time before I answer?
Ooh, comfort food of all time. For me, my comfort food of all time, it's actually sweets. I love chocolate chip cookies. They are such a great comfort food for me. Like, it's just something that's like balancing almost like sweet with the savoriness of the chocolate. It's just perfect.
Yeah, mine would be, since you mentioned like Italy and pizza, it's pineapple pizza.
Oh, pineapple pizza is so good.
Yeah, but people keep telling me like it's a crime against nature, and I tell them
I have heard
bug
that.
to bug them even more. I tell them I put ketchup on them, and I put ketchup specifically on the fried pineapple, so they start heating up, and I could see the smoke coming out of their ears. And that person that sometimes tells me that is from Canada, and I did my research, and it turns out pineapple pizza was created in Ontario, Canada. I'm like, well, blame Canada for it.
Exactly.
So this is the final segment. This is segment four, which is the mental health segment. I tell people the following disclaimer every episode. Sometimes, because I've had to speak about like very dark, very morbid topics in the past, so this is not an easy subject to talk about. If you feel like you can be triggered about some of the topics, you feel free to just dip out, um, or just like skip the segment altogether. But tonight, I'm gonna let Shadow do the talking in this segment. I'm gonna just be a listener, and I'm gonna let her share her life experience. So go ahead, Shadow.
Okay, well, as I was saying, mental health and mental illness is something that I have talked about before on my channel. I've grown up in a very abusive household. I've grown up, not being able to express my emotions, and that carried on through childhood, through my teenage years. And there was a time in my teenage years where my depression got really bad. I had PTSD from the abuse I went through. I had horrible social anxiety where meeting new people and even going outside would just be way too much for me. And as a teenager, there were, some points in my life where there was some self-harm involved. And it wasn't because I was trying to do this. I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be here. I didn't really belong here. And even as an adult, like going through a lot of my relationships and trying to navigate who I was as a person was a lot. And not only that, but also being a queer individual where your family does not accept you, because many people know that I am pansexual. I always tell people I am openly queer. I have been since I was 16. And when you're trying to navigate who you are as a person, both your sexual orientation and who you are just as a human being, your depression kind of weighs on you, kind of letting you know that you're still not good enough to be in a relationship. You're still not good enough to do the job you want to do. You're not good enough to be here. And that led to me having a horrible addiction later in life, which, by this April, I will be about 15 years sober from it. And one of the things I've told myself that when the depression was just getting really bad, I said, I need to take control of this, because if I don't, it's going to hurt me in the long run. It's going to hurt the people I care about, who I love very dearly. And I eventually went to a doctor not too long ago, and I had told him the depression has gotten to the point where I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. The social anxiety has gotten so bad that stepping outside my door, it's like a chore. It's like a huge weight on my shoulders. So what ended up happening is that we had discussed the potential of me eventually being with a therapist to talk about these feelings I have. So eventually that is something I will be doing. But I was also given some meds to go on to regulate the dopamine in my brain. And since I've been on the meds, it has helped me achieve the dopamine I need to wake up in the morning, to get out of bed, to function as a human being. Because now it's like I can look in the mirror and not see somebody who's not worth it. I do see somebody who is worthy of being here. And my advice to a lot of people, if you are struggling, please, please, please reach out to whoever, your friends, your family. Reach out even to me on my Discord. You can message me and we can talk. And I always put in my Discord, there is a mental health section there. We are not licensed professionals, but we are somebody who you can talk to vent to, because I always say that everybody's mental health matters regardless of who you are. I have been in people's shoes where you don't have those resources to reach out to somebody, but once you have somebody who is reaching out their hand, almost like an olive branch, to say, hey, I'm here, I'm walking the road with you, you can do it. And I know it's hard to always ask for help, because people say you don't have to ask for help, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You don't have to. Have somebody help you along the way, because I promise that once you reach that milestone of getting somebody to help you, it will get better, and it does get better. You just have to know what's going to work out for you in the long run.
Yeah, and there's also like telephones or like lines or numbers you can also call for that. If you know any,
Absolutely.
just say any name of any organization if you'd like that you know of.
I do believe there is one that you can get a hold of. If you are feeling like you are feeling very suicidal, there is the in America, there is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You call or text 988 and somebody will be there to talk to you and to help you through it. And always know that if you just feel like you're just alone, reach out to people that care about you. And I always say my DMs are always open. Just send me any kind of message to talk, to vent, and just know that you have somebody who's in your shoes, who's been where you are, and just know that it's going to get better for you in the long run because you have somebody in your corner.
Yeah, and I always like seek out music for relief if I need that. I've known someone that used to self-harm growing up, and every time she wanted to cut, she was like, "Hey, I feel like cutting." I'm like, "Hey, hold on." I just gave her random videos to watch. Like I just kept her busy, just took her mind off of the idea of cutting, and
Right.
yeah. So this whole thing, plus like giving that I make music and I write songs, I just had an idea about like why not write a song about suicide, and it's in the upcoming album that should be out soon. Well, in February 2nd and 3rd, because it's like a double album. It's called Hurricane. It says hurricane,
Fantastic.
hurricane, take me home, make me safe, hurricane, take me home, because I am in pain. Because it's like when you get to this point where you're just like lost, like life doesn't mean anything to you anymore. It's like you still question yourself, like, okay, I'm caught in a hurricane. Why? It's like dealing with a hurricane, actually. Like you ravage all your loved ones' lives by just unaliving yourself. So
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, so there's a lot of heavy topics on the next album, which is metal and rock and dubstep. So, and some emo trap.
Very nice.
Yeah, but besides that, so you grew up like as also like a lot of people, like you had some people in your family that had depression and anxiety, I assume, like growing up.
Yes. My brother, he was diagnosed with having bipolar schizophrenia. He was also diagnosed with depression, and unfortunately, last year he ended up taking his own life on Christmas.
Sadly, that's like going back in time as well. Like let's mention Robin Williams, one of the greatest minds in comedy. Sadly, it's been like almost 11 years now, and like I don't know why. Like, okay, you have a purpose in life, but like sometimes the mind just closes in and caves in, and like you cannot stop it. So as Shadow said, if you really need help, if you think you're worthless, which you're not, just reach out. Just talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Shadow, thank you so much for the time.
It's been my pleasure.
I really enjoyed
Absolutely.
it. Guys, go check her out. I will spell out the username, but now that I think about it, no need because it's in the title of the episode. So Silent Shadow, but SI1ENT underscore SHAD0W03. So go follow Silent Shadow on Twitch. She's on the journey. I really hope by the time this episode's out, she would have gotten more than her recent goal, which is 200 followers. I hope she even surpasses 200 followers by the time this episode is out. But your help will be very needed, very much needed in reaching that goal. So thank you again, Shadow, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
All right, thanks.